A wealthy man spent years mocking the woman who cleaned his building. Then one night, bleeding out, trapped in his car, miles from anyone, her voice was the only thing cutting through the darkness. And the words she whispered to keep him conscious? The exact ones he used to laugh at. This is what happened to Anthony Bush. Anthony Bush wasn't just successful. He was the kind of guy who made sure you knew it. By 32, he'd clawed his way up from nothing and built a real estate company that actually mattered. Penthouse with floor-to-ceiling windows. Tailored suits. That walk, you know, the one where every step says, I run this place. His father drilled one thing into him growing up. Never show weakness. People only respect power. So that's exactly how Anthony lived. Kindness? Waste of time. Vulnerability? A liability. Every morning before sunrise, the same woman cleaned the lobby of his building. Her name was Anita Delgado. Soft-spoken. Immigrant. Her English was broken, but her smile? That thing never wavered. Good morning, sir. You have safe day. And every morning, Anthony would either ignore her completely or, if his buddies were around, mimic her, roll his eyes, get a cheap laugh. She was background noise to him. But to her, kindness wasn't optional. It was survival. Here's what Anthony never bothered to notice. Anita wasn't just surviving. She was carrying an entire world on her back. 2 jobs. A husband at home recovering from surgery. 2 daughters growing up in a part of town where the buses barely ran and rent was always 3 days late. The kind of neighborhood where working hard didn't guarantee anything. And still she gave. She'd help the old man on the 3rd floor carry his groceries. So school uniforms for kids whose parents couldn't afford new ones. Stop and encourage the other cleaners when they looked ready to break. Nobody saw it. Especially not Anthony. One morning, Anita was mopping near the elevators when Anthony and 2 colleagues strolled past mid-conversation, laughing about something. Then Anthony stopped, turned, and in front of everyone he mimicked her perfectly. You have safe day. His friends exploded. One of them almost doubled over. Anita's hands went white around the mop handle. She didn't say a word, just looked down and kept working. Anthony didn't notice her face. He never stayed long enough to notice anything. 3 weeks later, everything fell apart. Anthony left a company party late. Too many drinks, too much confidence, not enough caution. He was flying down some back road in the middle of a storm, windows rattling, rain hammering the windshield. Then the road disappeared, hydroplaned, lost control. One sickening spin and his car went airborne before slamming into a ditch and flipping hard into the mud. Darkness, blood running into his eyes. No phone signal. No lights, no sound except rain and his own ragged breathing. For the first time in his life, Anthony Bush had no power, no control, no one. Then, faint, barely cutting through the storm, he heard something. A voice, shaking, familiar. Sir, you okay? His vision swam as someone appeared at the shattered window. It was Anita. She'd been driving home from her 2nd shift when she saw the wreck. No phone to call 911. No medical training. Just her hands and whatever courage she had left after a 16-hour day. She pulled him out. Somehow, this tiny woman who cleaned floors for a living dragged a grown man out of a totaled car in the pouring rain. She pressed her scarf, the only one she owned, against the gash on his forehead, trying to stop the bleeding. And as his eyes started rolling back, as the cold started winning, she leaned in close and whispered the only thing she could think of to keep him awake. You have safe day, sir. You have safe day. Please, stay. You have safe day. Over and over. The same words he used to mock. Now they were the only thing tethering him to life. 2 days later, Anthony opened his eyes in a hospital room. Ditches. For drip. Machines beeping steadily. And there, sitting in the corner like she'd been there the whole time, was Anita. She wasn't on the clock. Nobody was paying her to be there. She was just praying. Hands folded, lips moving silently, tears streaking down her tired face. Anthony felt something crack open in his chest. This woman, the one he humiliated, the one he treated like she didn't exist. She'd risked everything to save him. And then she stayed. Not because she owed him anything, because that's just who she was. When Anita finally looked up and saw him awake, she smiled. That same quiet, unshakable smile. "You safe now, sir?" Anthony tried to say something, but couldn't. His throat closed up, and for the first time in years, he just broke. Tears he didn't know he still had. 3 months later, you wouldn't recognize him. He paid off her husband's medical bills, got her daughters into good schools, helped her get the loan she needed to finally open that little tailoring shop she'd been dreaming about for years. But honestly, the bigger change wasn't the money. It was him. He started learning names. The security guard, the guy who fixed the AC, the woman who emptied the trash cans. He listened. He saw them. Because Anita taught him something his father never did. Real strength doesn't come from power. It comes from recognizing your own smallness and understanding that the people you walk past every day, they're the ones holding everything together. Here's what this comes down to. The person you mock today might be the only being that saves you tomorrow. Anita didn't pull Anthony out of that car because he deserved it. She did it because kindness wasn't something she turned on and off depending on who was watching. It was just her. And the second Anthony stopped looking down on people, he finally started seeing clearly. If this hit you the way it hit me, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. We post stories like this all the time, and honestly, you don't want to miss them. Turn on notifications. Now here's my question for you. What's the one thing you're taking away from this? Have you ever been dismissed because of how you talk, where you're from, what you do for work? How did you deal with it? Drop it in the comments. You never know who needs to hear your story today. And remember, the people you pass without a second glance, one day they just might be the ones who save you.